Able to see the screen?
Yes, Naveen.
Yeah. So last session we have completed different phases in implementation project. Just we'll have a quickly recap. So in implementation project we have a different phases. Means you will be involved in any of the phase actually. So project preparation phase, first one. In that different documents will be prepared. That is project agreement document. So in this only the finance things means what would be the project cost will be total. For example, as I said that any implementation project will be held 1 to 2 years, depends upon the project, right? And here both implementation partner, that is nothing but end user client, and the development partner. Development partner is nothing but we took example of Infosys, right? So we are from Infosys, and Ready Labs people want to implement SAP in their organization. So we will consider ourselves as a development partner, and Ready Labs people are considered as an implementation partners or client or end user. Clear? So here, so for the very first time, they want to use SAP in their organization. Prior to that, they were using any Tally or Oracle or any other accounting software or any ERP in their organization. So they want to use freshly SAP in their organization. Then first, so to implement, then there would be some sort of documentation will be prepared from both the ends, from development partner, that is nothing but Infosys, and as well as from Ready Labs. Clear? So there are total different 5 phases will be there. 5 phases will be there. In that first phase would be implementation project, sorry, project preparation phase. Okay, in that the first document will be prepared, project agreement document. What do you mean by a project agreement document? In the sense, in this project agreement document, the cost of the project will be discussed. The cost of the project will be discussed. Means what would be the total cost of the project? Clear? And like how the implementation partner need to be paid the amount to development partner. Different installments they will pay. First phase, how much they need to pay. Second phase, how much they need to pay. So all the things will be discussed in this particular phases. Okay. Next would be project agreement. Next would be project scope document. Project scope document. What do you mean by a project scope document? In the sense, whenever Ready Labs purchase the licenses from SAP AG, means entire dump will come. Means as I said that, so SAP provides total 36 different modules. 36 different departments it will support. Correct? So out of 36 departments, Ready Labs may not require all the departments, right? Probably they will have a 5 to 6 departments or 10 departments. Clear? But SAP is providing 36 different departments. So Ready Labs may not use all those 36. So whatever they want to use, that will come considered as an in scope, and whatever is not coming, that is considered as an out of scope. Clear? So project scope. Next one, project plan. Project plan document will be prepared. Once project plan is prepared, clear? Once project plan is prepared, so project team will be identified from both the sides. Project team from end user side, how many people are going to involve, and from project development side, from Infosys side, how many people are going to involved in this particular project. Clear? For example, in accounts payable department, in Ready Labs, there may be 20-30 members are there in accounts payable. So all 30 members will not involved in this particular project. So each department, whoever are expert, whoever are seniors, only 1 or 2 people will involved from end user side from each department. Clear? Same time in development partner also, all the consultants will be involved, like FI consultant, MM consultant, CO consultant, like that. Clear? And after that, once project team is identified, then hardware and software discussion will be there. Hardware and software. What do you mean hardware and software? See, once they want to start the project, so how many laptops they want to use, how many palm tabs they want to use, right? How many tabs they want to use, clear? What would be the network capacity and what would be the different softwares to use at the time of implementation. So all those things will be discussed in hardware and software part. And once hardware and softwares are finalized, then they will think of other facilities. Other facilities. So what do you mean other facilities? So all like normal to normal discussion, minute to minute things will be get discussed in other facilities. Like for example, from Infosys, majority people are from different states and they travel to implementation partners place. That is nothing but, for example, Hyderabad. Then they need to provide accommodation for them. So who is going to bear that expenditure? Transportation from hotel to office, clear? Who is going to bear? Breakfast, lunch, okay, snacks, whatever minute to minute things. So that facility, what are the extra facilities, the who is going to bear that expenditure, that will be get discussed in other facilities. Okay, once everything is finalized, last meeting will be conducted, that is called kickoff meeting. Kickoff meeting. So what do you mean by kickoff meeting? So all the end user, implementation partner, okay, implementation partner employees will be called for this meeting, and they will both the teams will involve, from development partner and as well as an implementation partner team will be involved, and they will announce that they are going to start they are going to introduce SAP in their organization, and the duration would be taken this much time. Okay, and different what are the different trainings will be provided. Okay, and everything will be explained in this particular meeting. That is called kickoff meeting. Is this clear, everyone? Any questions?
It's clear now.
Okay. So next would be the most important document is, okay, business blueprint document. Second document will be prepared after project preparation, business blueprint document. Business blueprint document. What do you mean by business blueprint document? In the sense, there are two documents will be prepared in this particular thing. One is as is document, as is document, as is document, that is, we are, in other words, we call it as a CSBP. CSBP. Okay. So what does it mean?
Current state of business.
Current state of business process. Correct. Current state of business process as is document means before implementation of SAP, right? Ready Labs were using Oracle or Tally or some other accounting software or ERP. So how the processes are, AP, accounts payable, how they are doing, right? Accounts receivable, how they are doing, GL, how they are doing, taxation, how they are doing, asset accounting, how they are doing, controlling, how they are doing. So everything will be prepared on a note, on a paper. Everything will be minute to minute step, from starting step to end step, last step. So whatever software they are using, what are the steps they follow, and what would be the output, the total things will be written on that particular document. That document we call it as a current state of business process or as is document. And who will
So
prepare
this
this?
is,
Sorry.
yeah, I was asking that question.
Okay, as is document, as is in the sense how it is at the time of old, clear, other systems apart from SAP system. Okay, and this will be prepared by, this documentation will be prepared by CTMs. You know that, what do you mean by CTMs now?
4 team
4
members.
team members. That is nothing but end user team, end users team. End users team. Okay. So end user team. So in that, each process will have, for example, 80 business processes. AP, they have some 10 to 20 business processes. Means, what do you mean by business process? The line of activity, how it starts and how it's going to be end. So how AP process will start? AP process will start from invoicing. We receive an invoice, we will verify the invoice, we will process the invoice, and after that we will pay the invoice as per the due date. Clear? So this is the process that is considered as a business process. Activity, line of activity, we call it as a business process. So like that we have found, so total 80 business processes, 80 processes. Okay, so next one, after reading as is document, one more document will be prepared to be document.
So it should be like 80 processes should be there in this document.
Sorry,
80 process.
80 processes are there in Ready Labs. 80
Example you are giving her.
I didn't get you. I'm sorry, your voice is
So
cracked.
as this document, you're saying 80 processes will be there, right?
Correct, correct.
So it should be like 80 is mandatory or it is fixed?
No, I'm just taking an example.
Example, right? Yeah.
It's an example. It could be 100, it could be 1,000, it could be anything.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So next one, to be document. To be document. This is nothing but we call it as an FSBP.
Future state.
Yeah, future state of business process. Future state of business process. So what does it mean? After reading all this, we need to do this. This is prepared by CTMs and this is need to be done by functional consultants. Clear? We will prepare after implement these particular steps in SAP, right? How it's going to be look, what are the reports they can generate, right? And all those things we will show in this particular document. And this will be prepared by functional consultants. Who are functional consultants? Who are functional consultants?
Yeah, we are functional
Yes,
consultants.
that our job is functional consultants job. We are doing this particular course to fit over here, not here, not at end user team. Okay, so our job, this is our job. We need to understand and we need to prepare the documentation. Okay. Yeah, Sricharan.
Hello.
Naveen, what I have been understood as is and to be is like as is something like Redillas using the legacy systems.
Yes.
How they are processing in the legacy systems, they will explain to us.
Correct.
And to be document is like we will do some customizations as per.
Not customization, we will do. See, again, I'm telling you, see, prepared by functional consultants. So total, how many processes are there?
Example we have taken as 80.
80 processes. So SAP standard will support 73 processes as it is. Means you need not to change anything. You can take the dump of SAP and you can configure as it is. So total SAP 73 standard processes. SAP is directly we can map with the SAP standard process with the customer requirements. We need not to do anything. Just we can take the dump. We can configure as per the requirement of client. So how many we are able to map directly?
73.
73. And how many we are not able to map?
We're having 7. We have remaining 7.
7. So we will call that as a 7 as in gaps.
Yes.
7 as in gaps.
Yes.
So what do you mean by these gaps? In the sense 7 processes, SAP standard we are not able to do it. Only we are able to do 73. So whatever 7 gaps are there. So it is, we need to customize this. Yes. 73 we can configure it as it is. If we are able to map SAP standard businesses with the client business process directly, then that is considered as a configuration. And how many we are not able to map directly with the SAP standard with the client requirement? 7. These are called, we call it as an SAP environment. We are going to call it as in gaps, right? And these gaps now we need to develop. We need to develop in the sense we need to customize as per the requirement of client.
Mm.
And how we are going to do as a functional consultant, we will write what are the gaps, 7 gaps, and what is the customer requirement, and everything will be written, and that will be given to whom? ABAP
Technical
consultant.
consultant.
Development.
Yeah, ABAP consultant. We will give it to ABAP consultant, and we will explain clearly that these are the requirements of client. They want the reports or steps like this one. Means SAP standard is not able to provide these 7 gaps. Okay, and now then ABAP consultant will prepare a program, will write a program, and will prepare the documentation according to the client requirement. He will develop the software according to the client requirement. So those gaps, whatever ABAP consultant will prepare, that is considered as a development.
So, Naveen, I have a question here.
Please.
Yeah. So this is nothing but a gap analysis, right?
Yes.
So end user will identify that gap analysis and inform to the consultant.
End user doesn't know what is there in SAP, right?
Yeah.
Functional consultant will know what is the SAP standard is providing, and whatever is we are not able to make configuration as per the client requirement as according to SAP standard.
Okay.
Right? A functional consultant will do the gap analysis, not
So they
Oh,
will,
CTMs.
yeah, like they will go through this as is document and check, right?
Correct.
Whatever possibilities are there, they will do.
Yes. So this is considered as in gaps developments. We'll call it as in development. So definitely when you say 1-2 years of experience in your resume, then definitely you will get a question from your interviewer. Have you ever worked on
Yeah.
development? Or have you ever worked on gaps? So straight away you need to say that yes, we have worked. If you have mentioned your project as an I have worked for 1 year on development implementation project, then definitely one or somewhere we need to prepare gaps. So you need to take this one example, any example, right? For example, in ME20, client want a report, like vendor report that, for example, by standard SAP provides 60 day, 45 day, 60 days overdue invoices, 90 days overdue invoices, and 120 days, right? That is SAP standard. But client is a requirement is something different. They want 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, 180 days, okay, and more than 180 days. SAP standard provided 60 days, 90 days, and 120 days, for example. But the client requirement is 30 days, okay, and 90 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, 180 days. So so as per this particular report, SAP standard is not fulfilling. So we have taken a help of ABAP consultant, and we have designed a report as per the requirement of client. Clear? And one more report you can say that generally this is the thing happens is, for example, tolerances. A vendor, last session also we have discussed vendor tolerances. For example, normally what is the thing tolerance we will give is maximum tolerance limit is 5%. 5% tolerance we will give, vendor tolerance. Okay, whenever we generate a report, right, it will give you the total amount of tolerances. But the client requirement was something different. See, few invoices we will post with 1% tolerance, few invoices we will process with 2% tolerance, few invoices we will post with 3% tolerance, few invoices we will post into 4%, and few are 5%. But SAP standard, whenever you want to generate a report, tolerance report, then it will give you all transactions at one go. So it inclusive of 1%, it is inclusive of 2, 3, 4, and 5. It won't segregate separately. It will give you the complete tolerance report. That's it. So by looking at that, we can't say that which one is a 1% tolerance, which one is a 2%, 3, 4, 5%. So the client requirement was something different, right? In ME23N, whenever they want to pull out any report, so they want a tolerances of 1%, separately it should show. 2% it should show separately, 3% it should show separately, 4 and 5% it should show separately. Clear? So so that was the requirement where SAP standard is not fulfilling that requirement. So we took, that is nothing but a gap. So we took help of ABAP consultant, and we have provided the requirement to ABAP consultant, and they have designed a program as per the client requirement. That is called development. Clear? Any questions? Any questions on this?
No, Naveen.
So once to be document is prepared, what would be the next one? Signing process. So once everything, see, CTMs are accepted. Once the CTMs are accepted, then the signing process will come into the picture. This is very important. Again, in real time, people, we will see when we do the implementation project. Okay. When we do okay, so first signature. So first, if end users are accepted, okay, the signing process will come into the picture. Clear? So that is nothing but first signature will be performed by, means everything is accepted. Business process owner, BPO, will sign the first signature on these documents. So we will call it as a business process owner from implementation partner. That is head of the department, head of the organization. First signature will be done by first signature BPO, business process owner. The next second signature, signing 2, will be done by CTMs, core team members. Second signature. And third signature will be performed by project manager from implementation side. From implementation side. Implementation side. Okay, that is S3, signature 3. Okay, next one, S4, signature 4, will be done by project manager from development side. That is nothing but Infosys. This is the standard signing process, and this is Ready Labs. Wherever you go, the signing process will be the same. Last but not least, signature 5. Who will do signature 5? We. That is nothing but functional consultants. Is this clear? Once the documentations are okay, future future state of business process is accepted by CTMs, then, and that will be explained to BPO, business process owner. Clear? Then the head of the organization, then first signatures will be their acceptance signature will be taken. That process is called acceptance process, is called signing process. So the first signature will be taken from S1, signature 1 from BPO, and once he has done, then the same documentation will be forwarded to CTMs. All the CTMs will be signed, all in the sense whoever are involved in this particular project, all will sign in this. And next one, once CTMs are signed, project manager from implementation partner, that is nothing but Ready Labs, person will sign. And once he has signed, then it's our turn. Project manager from Infosys side and functional consultant, last signature will be performed by functional consultants. Is this clear? Till this we have discussed in the last session.
No, the signature part was not discussed.
Sorry?
The signature part was not discussed.
Signature part?
Was not discussed in the last session.
Okay. So this is a process and signature.
So after this business blueprint phase, the signature part will come.
Sorry, a bit louder, please. Your voice is low.
after this business blueprint phase, the signature part
Exactly.
will come.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Once we are done with the signature process, then it will come into realization phase. Realization phase. It's very important. So here, normally our functional consultant will come into the picture. Realization phase. Okay. Realization phase. So the most important phase this is. What do you mean by realization phase? In the sense, so here we will do the real work, the real practical work, and servers will come into the picture. Servers will come into the picture. Okay. So minimum in real time, here we will have only one server in practice part, but in real time you will see minimum 3 servers. Minimum 3 servers will be there. Okay, I'll show you that how it will look. See here, realization phase. So we have minimum 3 servers. These are the 3 different servers. This is development server, quality server, and production server. Okay. So before this, write down first definition of client. First, we need to understand what is the concept of client. In general, what do you mean by client? As last week with customer, right?
Yes.
Yes, no. In general, what do you
Yes.
mean by client? Client means a customer, but here in SAP environment, it is an autonomous entity. It's a recognition as a body. Here, a separate entity kind of thing. So write down. So write down what is a client. Okay. Write down client. A client is an autonomous unit client is an autonomous unit. A client is an autonomous unit in R3 system. In R3 system with regard to commercial law, organization, commercial law, organization, and data. Okay. So as per commercial law, in the sense, as per the legally, it is considered as a body and separate entity. Okay. And it stores. So at client level, we can right at client level, we can store user master data. So don't write this user master data. What does mean user master data? For example, you are working for an organization and you are working for one particular client number. So all our authorizations, all our SODs, right? All our user access will be recorded at user master data, and that will be stored at client level. So 100 people are working in Ready Labs. So, and SAP will give you one user access, and what are their roles and what are the things they need to have an access SODs. Clear? So all things will be stored at client level. That is called user master data. Right? Managers will be there. Their role will be something different. Assistant manager is there. Their role will be different. Project managers are there. Their roles will be different. Accountants will be there. Their roles will be different. So each and every role and everything, what are their SODs, what are the authorizations, right? What are the transactions they need to have access, and everything will be stored at client level. Clear, everyone? User level master data can be maintained. Okay. And next one, all customizing means client dependent customizing data will also maintain. So whatever gaps are there, we have discussed. So those gaps, whatever data customized, that will be stored at client level. Okay. And next one, all application data. What are all the master record, vendor master record data, customer master record data, asset master, GL master, all will be stored. All application data will be stored at client level. So if someone is asking what in SAP, what do you mean by a client? It's not a customer. Client is an autonomous body or autonomous unit in the R3 system. With regard to commercial law is nothing but a recognition, organization, business, and the data. Data in the sense here, what are the different data we can store in a client level? That is nothing but a user master data, customization, client dependent customization data, and next one, transactional data and master data. Any questions on this? Any questions?
No, Naveen.
So next, write down. Next, continue. Okay, normally, as I said that we will have 3 servers in real time. Okay, it could be whatever may be the project, we will have 3 different servers. It could be a roller project, it could be support project, or whatever project. We will have minimum 3 servers. One is a development server, quality assurance server, and production server. And in implementation project, apart from 3 servers, in each server we will have number of clients. Write down. Client is
I mean, didn't get this.
Yeah,
Can you please-
continue to that. I'll explain this development server and all those stuff, but write down in the client only. Client is defined in SAP with the 3-digit code. With the 3-digit code, I'll show you this. Without giving client number, we can't do any transactions. I'll show you, and you know very well, but still. See here, this is my SAP user ECC version. See here, this is client number. Means 800 is a client number. As I said that in SAP, client will be defined with 3-digit code.
Naveen, usually in real time we'll give 999. Right?
No, not like that. It could be anything. In real time, all the servers may not use the same client number. I'll tell you from 0002 999, anything they will take in
Yes,
between.
Yeah.
So total 1000 client numbers we can give from 000 to 999 last. Is that clear? Yes, no?
Yes, Naveen.
Yeah. So it's not already, you can check in your systems. Okay. So here I'll tell you. In realization phase, we have minimum 3 servers. What are those servers? Development server, first server, next one, So development server.
Quality assurance, sir.
So in development server, we will have a multiple clients. Okay. Okay, I'm taking one client number as 100. Sandbox client. It's an optional client. See this example, this is number is example. This is an example. 100, whatever I'm taking is an optional example. 100. It will not be in real time. It may not be. It will not be 100. It could be anything. Is this clear? So in development server, we can have a number of clients. In development server, we can have number of clients, right? So what we are doing is, I'm taking an example 100. As I said, that 3-digit code client will give, and who will give this client numbers? Client numbers will be given by the basis consultant as per the client requirement. Is that clear? Hello.
Can you please repeat?
Yeah, I'll tell you. See, the client number in the sense, nothing but, see, for example, you have your almara at your home, right? How you will keep your things in your almara? See, for example, you'll keep your dresses at one place, correct? And you will gold ornaments, you will keep it another rack, right? And cash and other things will be, other assets will be kept in other rack, right? So you are making a partition of different things. So in SAP also, whatever server is there, in that what to do, whatever activity, different activities, we are going to do a partition with the recognition of by giving a client number. Understood? One partition, we are giving a client as a number as 100. So what is the data we are going to do save? That will be stored under that particular client number. And another number we are going to give, for example, transactional data and master data we will store under one client number. And next one, all customization data will be stored under one particular client number. Clear? Same thing, user defined data will be stored under one particular client number. We won't club all together. Is this clear? If we club all together, the server performance will go down. We will make a partition like in your desktop or laptop. You will do, right? C drive, D drive, E drive, F drive. Why you can't make it one drive? The partition. So C drive, that is nothing but one client. D drive, one client. E drive, one client. F drive, one client. So in the same time, SAP also, whatever server we have, they will do, we will do the partitions of each client. Clear? Who will do in your laptop or desktop this drives? Who will do that?
Basis consultant.
Sorry?
Basis consultant.
Here, over there, network engineer will do it, and here, basis consultant will do it. Clear? The client partition will be performed by the basis consultant. Is that clear, everyone? So this is very important to understand, because interview, if the transaction codes and everything will, people can answer, but we need to understand this thing. What is the, how much digits we can give for a client from 000 to 999, total 1000 client numbers, anything we can give. And I'll tell you which we are not supposed to give also. Okay. Any questions?
Can you
So
please repeat
basis
the question?
consultant only decide this client number.
No. Client will decide its client number.
Client will decide and they will provide.
Decide. Means I want this particular lucky number or something else like that.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
you just posted the question, interview question. Can you
Sorry,
please,
Raj.
you just posted the interview question, right? Can you please repeat that one? I mean,
The question is how many numbers we can use, how many digits we can use as a client in SAP server. Okay, that is 3 digits. And how, what is the maximum number we can give? What is the range we can give? From 000 to 999. That is nothing but 1000 clients. Clear?
Okay.
So here, so I'm taking an example. I'm doing in my development server, I'm doing one partition called sandbox client. So what is this? This is optional. In real time, you may find or you may not find. Clear? For example, in my project, for example, I'm a project manager and I'm doing one small implementation project, small company implementation project. And what I did is I have taken only 1 to 2 years experience guys who are having 1 to 2 years of experience guys. Okay. So I have picked almost all 15 to 20 people in my project because I know this is not a tough task. It's a very simple implementation project. So for that, I don't require any 5 years or 10 years experience tenure guys. I want only 1 to 2 years experience guys. Clear? So before starting the project, so what I'll ask my basis consultant is in development server, just provide me one client for sandbox. You know what do you mean by sand, right? You can write in sand and you can rub it immediately like a slate, right? It's not going to affect in real time. It's only for practice purpose. What is sandbox client? Sandbox client is whatever transactions we are going to do, whatever configuration we are going to do, that's not going to hit in real time. That's only for practice purpose. That is only for practice purpose. So that's the reason we call it as a sandbox client. It's an optional. See, I'm taking 10, 15 years of experience for my project. So why they want again practice things? So directly they will do in the real-time activity. So at that particular time, I may not require sandbox server, sandbox client. Understood? So that's the reason here I have mentioned it as an optional client. So some in what we call development, this one development partner may require the sandbox server, sandbox client, or may not require. Is this clear, everyone? Understood?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So this 100 is example I'm taking. Client number 100, sandbox client. Okay. This sandbox client is an optional client right now. Sandbox client is an optional client. Okay. So it's a nothing but you can write it as a practicing system. Practicing system. Okay. Okay. So practicing system. So whatever we have seen in 2B document and business, so whether it is possible or not, we will check over here. So we call this as a test configuration client. Test configuration client. So sandbox client, we call it as a test configuration client. So here, normally what happens is, how many servers we will have normally? Normally, we will have, as I said, how many servers we will have normally?
3 servers.
Sorry, 3 servers.
3
One is
servers.
development server, next one quality server, and next one production server. So whatever developments we will do, okay, whatever configuration and customization we will do, okay, that has to be moved from development server to quality server, because to do the testing whether they are working perfectly or not. So where we will do the testing part, quality server. Clear? So to move from one server to another server, to move the data from one server to another server, we will call in SAP as a transport. Okay, what we will call it as a transport. Movement of data from one server to another server, we will call it as a transport. Okay, and it will generate a request number. And that request, we are going to call it as a transport request number. We will have a two-day session on transport request, how it works and everything. Clear? So that is called transport request number. What do you mean by transport request number? Whenever, whatever data we save, whatever configuration we do, okay, that will be stored under one particular request. and that request is known as a transport request. So that transport request, with the transport request, we will move the data from one server to another server. Understood? Whenever you save some data, it will ask for a request number. Clear? So, but here,
So this is in realization phase, right?
yes, it's in realization phase.
So realization phase, the actual functional consultant will come, right?
Exactly. We
So,
will come into this picture.
so in this phase, first we have to work on the servers.
We need to work on development server as a consultant.
First development server.
If you are working as you got on a project called implementation project, then definitely you need to work on a development server. Okay, all the configurations and customizations will be performed in which server? Development server. We are going to work on development server. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so transportation will be moved, but here when we do some practice in this particular, okay, so no transport request will be generated here because it's only for practice purpose. No transport request will be generated. Understood, everyone? This is very important. If it is real time, then transport request will be generated, but this is sandbox server. It is only for practice purpose, so no data will be moved to other servers. So that's the reason no transport request will be generated here. Clear? Okay.
Now, when it is a bit confusing, when we work on development server, first we do practice.
See, that's again depends. If you have a 5 years of experience or 10 years, then you won't practice, right? Directly you will start working on that. But you are having a 1 year experience or 2 years experience. So first you want to test something, whether we are able to do or not. So then instead of directly hitting a real environment, we will work on a sandbox client. That is for practice client. That's the reason I said here optional.
Okay.
Clear?
So once we work and then it is perfect, then we'll work on real.
Exactly. If you're satisfied, okay, you felt that I'm comfortable, right? Then you can go ahead with the real-time server.
Okay.
Only practicing purpose, this is sandbox client.
Okay. So what is this test configuration client?
Sorry,
Test configuration client.
what do you mean by that? Why you are doing practicing system? You are testing yourself, right?
Okay.
You are testing yourself whether you are able to do it or not. So that's the reason all the configuration you want to test first. Correct? Before going to a real-time environment, first in the practice server, you will do all the config. See what in which server now we are doing? We are working on what we call training server. We are working on training server now. So that is also same like sandbox client only. So nothing will move to real time. It is only a practice system.
Yes.
Whatever system we are going to work, that is nothing but client 800. You can see here. Client 800 is what is client 800? SAP provided for practice and education purpose, IDES. Clear? So here we don't have a 3 servers. In this only we will have a development server. In this only we will have a quality server. In this only we will have a production server. But in real time we will have a separate. Clear? Yes, no?
Yes, Naveen.
Yeah, this is testing configuration in the sense whatever we want to CSBP document we prepared first for our satisfaction. First, we want to check because we don't have much experience. So first we want to check in this test environment. That is nothing but where you will check that in sandbox client. Fine.
Yes.
So in development server, one more client we will have. We can take. This is a real-time client. 110, I'm taking a number. It's an example again. So we call it as a configuration client, or some companies, they'll call it as a golden client. Okay. Okay. What do you mean by in some companies they'll call it as a configuration client, and some companies they call the same thing as a golden client. Understood? And we have given a client number as an 110. In real time, that could be different. Anything that could be. Clear? So, okay. Fine. The real configuration will be performed in this particular client. Fine. So the real configuration. So here what we will do? We will do configuration as per the client requirement. Next we will do configuration and customization. Correct? Configuration and custom. What is the difference between these two? We have discussed.
Yes.
What is the
If
difference?
as before you have taken the example of 80 process and 73, right?
Yeah.
If 73 matches, we will directly configure that. We will directly configure that. That will be called as configuration.
Correct.
What will be the remaining 7?
Gaps.
The remaining 7 will be the customization as per the client requirements. We will send it to the ABAP consultants.
Yes.
So we will do the testings after doing by the ABAP consultants. They will do one testings. We will do one testings, and finally, client will do some testings. After that, we will release that.
Correct. Right. Configuration in the sense as per SAP standard, is client requirement is matching, then we will directly configure it. But if standard SAP is not able to, with the standard SAP, we are not able to map the client requirements, then we will customize it. We will write it as in gaps. We'll call it as in gaps. So for that gap,
ZF110.
sorry.
ZF110.
ZF110, whatever client requirement. So whatever client required thing will be start with transaction code we discussed last time, Z and Y. Correct? So here with the standard SAP, we are not able to map with the client requirements, then we will customize. But here customization in the sense development we'll call. But development in the sense we are not going to, as a functional consultant, we are not going to write a single line coding. We are not going to write any single line coding. Again, I'm reiterating. We don't require any programming knowledge. We don't require any coding knowledge. Directly, we will take the requirement from client and we will give it to ABAP consultant, right? They will write the program and they will prepare the screen according to the client requirement, right? And after that, we will check and we will give it to the client. We will configure to client, right?
Okay.
Any questions?
Yes, no.
Done by functional consultant only. Our job this is. Okay. So we will do configuration and we will do customization. So when we do configuration and customization, system will generate a request that is called customization request. Customizing request. System will generate customizing request. Okay. Once the configuration and customization done, we will store in one customizing request. System automatically asks. Okay. So once we are done this, then there would be one more client. Okay. One more client will be there. Once configuration customizing done. So 120. There is one more client will be there. Object development client. Object development client. So this is purely for ABAPer. Clear?
So
Okay.
these are all comes under the development server.
Yes, these all are comes under development server only. That's what I said, development server only. Sandbox client, configuration client, object development client.
Okay.
Okay. So this is for exclusively ABAPers. Okay. So they will perform here all the developments. So which we are not able to map with the, you remember? Development. What are the developments? Fries.
Something like
You remember?
forms,
Reports,
reports,
interfaces, conversions,
Yeah.
enhancements, and workflows. Correct? So wherever it required to develop, then this particular client level, the ABAP consultant will do this particular activities. Fine. Everybody knows, right? Fries already we discussed.
Yes.
Fries F.
Yes, no.
Okay.
Yes.
So once we have done with this, okay. So we'll call it as an RISE-FU also.
So until the development team works on that customization part, we have to wait, right?
Sorry.
Until the development team work on that customization part, we have to wait.
Yes, we need
And
to
check.
wait. We need to wait. Okay. As a functional consultant, we have to wait.
Okay. Until we do not need to do anything, like don't have any work at that time.
Sorry.
So when we are working on real time, when the ABAPer is working on the development part, so as a functional consultant, we do not have any work.
See, meanwhile, whatever customization is not able to do, he'll wait for that. The customization request developed by ABAPer. Meanwhile, we will configure the rest other 73
Yes.
processes.
Okay, before the configuration part, we can first check on the customization
Yes.
also.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Next one more client, 130 client. So here, development test client. Development test client. Okay. Development test client. So here in this particular, we will do testings. Okay. In this client, we will do testing part. Okay. Here we do testing. Okay. If you want to do testing in the sense, see here, this is the different client and this is a different client and this is a different client, right? So whatever settings we have done, whatever configuration customization we have done, that will be stored in one request, correct? And that request will move from one client to another client. One client to another, from client number 110 to 130. Clear? 110 to 130 if you want to do the testing. Okay. Understood what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yes,
how
sir.
it will move? Do we need to?
If any changes are done
See,
for the
whatever configuration and customization we have done here, that data has to move from, to do the testing. This is now empty client. The client is empty. So that the
Okay.
data has to move from this particular
Configure.
to 130 client. So
Yes.
that whatever data we have performed, that will be stored, that will be saved under request. Correct? So transport request will move from
Navin, give me a minute. Can you please go, others can you please go on mute because I'm getting some air sound. I can't hear the Navin things.
Who are,
I don't know, but I am.
is it fine now?
Yes, Navin.
If someone is not talking, kindly mute yourself, please. It's a request. Now is it fine?
Yes, Navin.
Yes,
Yes.
Navin.
So whatever development things we will perform, okay, whatever configurations and customization we do, whatever data is there in client 110, okay, to do the testing, we need to, the data should be there in this particular client. So that will be moved, the transport request will be moved from 110 to 130. Clear? And whatever object development client, whatever price of we ABAPR has done, that has to be done the testing, right? Then that has to be moved from 120 to 130 with the transport. It will, everything will be stored under one transport request. It's not one, it would be number of reports. Clear?
Got it.
Okay. So here you remember there are two types of transport request. One is customization request, another one is workbench request, right? Here, whatever 110 data we are moving from configuration client to development client, then that is considered as a customization request. And here from development client, right? Whatever ABAPR has performed data, okay, if we are moving that from one client to object development client to development client, then that transport request we are going to call it as a workbench request. Understood? I'll give you the definitions of what do you mean by workbench request and what do you mean by customization request. Clear, everyone? But meanwhile, 110 to 130 client means configuration client to development client, whatever data we are moving, that request we call it as a customized transport request. Okay, and whatever data we are moving from object development client to development test client, that request we are going to call it as a workbench request.
From where to where, Navin? From
A bit louder.
From where to where? From client 110 to
Client 120 to 130. See, don't take client 120 because
yeah, yeah, that is an example.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Object development client to two. If you are sending the data from object development client to development test client, then that request is called as a workbench request, workbench transport request. Clear? And same time, if we are moving the data from configuration client to development test client, then that is called customization transport request. Two transport requests. One is customized transport request, another one is a workbench transport request. Customized transport request, the customized configuration data will move from configuration client to development test client.
Navin will have practical sessions also, right?
Yes, we will have that. I'll show you how the transportation request we will move to one server to another server.
Okay.
We will have a session on that. That's the reason. Just to have an idea meanwhile.
Okay.
Okay. If next. Okay. So this is called, see here, it's customized request, and here it is called workbench request. Workbench request. So what we do here in development test client, we will do tested by ABAPR and functional consultant who will test, and functional consultant with test data. Okay. Just write down. Okay. If it is a configuration and customization data is there, then that will be tested by only functional consultant. Okay. If it is a development, then first ABAPer will do the testing. The next functional consultant will do the testing. Clear? Any question?
No,
Yeah.
nothing.
Okay, this is a live environment. So you need to have a knowledge on this because many questions you can expect on this. Okay, this will be asked. Don't take a client numbers. Don't take client numbers here. Okay, so you can say that sandbox client, configuration client, object development client, and development test client. Right? But don't take client numbers. So if they want to check whether you have a real-time experience or not, then they will check on this only. Clear? Any questions? These all activities we'll do in development server.
Customization transport.
A bit louder.
Yeah, customization transport is from 120 to 130, right? Sorry,
One company.
the moving data from client 120 to 130 is a workbench request.
Correct.
Okay, customized transport request is
110 to 130.
110 to 130. Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
Right? And who all whatever configuration customization data will be tested by functional consultant. Okay, and whatever development test, first it will be done by technical test by ABAPer, and after that it will be performed by functional consultant.
Yeah.
Okay, next one, quality server. Quality assurance server. Quality assurance server. Okay, so again I'm saying what they here in quality assurance server also we will have a different client numbers. But again, these client numbers may not be the same in real time, right? The client numbers will be taken from 000 to 999 in between any number, and that will be defined by your basis consultant and with your client. Okay, don't take whatever example client numbers I'm giving. That could be anything, but I'll tell you some reserved client numbers are there which SAP standardly using. Those numbers also we are not supposed to say. That I'll take you once we are done with this. Is this clear, everyone? I'm taking only example, this 100, 110, 120, 130. These are only examples I'm taking.
Yes.
Is that clear?
Okay, Naman.
Again, like we have seen, like in real time, when you go to interview part, don't say that I have used 100 client. You can say that we can use it 100 client, not an issue. But in real time, you will have a different client numbers. Okay. So for example, I'm taking 200 client. One series I'm using for development and two series I'm using for quality. So this is quality assurance client. Okay. Quality assurance client, write it down. Okay. Okay. So the data will be moved. The data will be transported whatever configuration and development. Okay. Okay, understood. So here, or else I'll go like this, then you will understand. Quality server, right? Quality assurance server. So here, see, the data will be moved from, you know that, configuration client to testing client. Configuration and customization, the data will be moved from 110 client to 130. That is nothing but configuration client to development client, right? Who will move this transport request? Functional consultant will move the transport request. Within a server, the movement of data, right, from configuration client to, that is nothing but configuration data, customization data, will be moved from configuration client to testing client. Who will move this? Functional consultant. And object development client to development test client, who will move the data? ABAPer. Clear? ABAPer will move the data. And from one server to another server, one server to another server. This is within a server movement. But here now we need to move the data. For example, here I am taking quality client 200, client 200, quality assurance server. Quality assurance client. So the data will be moved like this. Next, development one. Okay. This movement from server to server movement will be done by basis consultant. Understood? Within a server, as per the rules, functional consultant or an ABAPer. But right, from one server to another server, who will move the transport request? Again, one more question here. Within a server, if we want to transport from one client to another client, who will move that data?
Functional consultant.
Depends again. If it is a configuration and customization data, then functional consultant. If it is a development test, development request developments, then that will be moved by ABAPer. Okay. But if it is from one server to another server, the movement, then it will be performed by basis consultant. Right? As a functional consultant, we will send a mail to the basis consultant to move the data from one server to another server. Is this clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. One server to another server. Fine, everyone. So again, we will see this real time also. Right? But 100% guaranteed interview questions.
So quality assurance server is like moving the data from one server to another server.
Sorry.
Quality assurance server is quality assurance client is like moving the one server to another server.
No. This is a separate server where we will do tests with the our CTMs. By sitting with CTMs, we see whatever data we are developed here, whatever configurations we have done, whatever customizations we have done, okay, that we need to show our CTMs also, right? So they need to do some testing, right? So they can't come, they don't have access to development server. End users will not have access to development server. Only we have access to development server. Who in this? We in the sense consultants.
Functional.
Yeah, and that how CTMs will do the testing? Can they have access to this server?
No.
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 So we will have one more server called quality assurance server. So how they can do the testing if there is no data?
Yeah, we'll
Then
import.
we need to whatever development, whatever configuration, whatever customizations we have done, that has to be moved from development server to quality assurance server. Once the data is moved, who will move the data? What is the term we use in SAP moving a data? Transportation. Transport request. And once we do, who will move the transport from development server to quality server?
Basis consultant.
Basis consultant. If any movement within the client, who will perform?
If it is related to configuration customization, functional consultant.
Yeah, it's a respective consultant. We can say
Yeah,
that respective consultants.
Yeah.
Correct. It could be a functional consultant. It could be an ABAP consultant.
Yes.
Fine. Any questions here now? Okay,
No.
everyone.
Clear.
Clear, Navin.
Yeah. So red color, this is functional consultant, and the green color, basis consultant.
Navin, one small doubt.
Please.
I see that, the functional consultant is also sending it to the quality server. So after that quality servers,
No, functional consultant will not send the quality server. Functional,
Okay.
this is, I'm saying configuration. If you are getting confusion, then you can take it as a configuration data. Configured
Okay.
data. Configured data will move from this client to development server to quality server. Configuration data and customization data will be sent to development server to quality assurance server. And same time,
Got it.
right, the whatever developments performed by ABAPer, that will also send it to from development server to quality server. But who will send this transport request? This will be performed by basis consultant.
Understood.
Correct. So again, we will do a lot of testings in this quality assurance. Okay. Okay. Here, tested by CTMs. CTMs with real data. I'll write it down here. Okay, the quality assurance server. Okay, I'll write here quality assurance server. What are the things will be performed? Okay. Quality assurance client. So just write it down. Quality assurance server. Same thing, whatever I wrote over there. Okay. So 200 client number, quality assurance client. Fine. So here it will be done, tested by CTMs, core team members, as I said, because they don't have access to development server. They will have access to only quality server.
So if there are any changes, again they will do it in
Yes.
development server.
That
Right?
will move to development server data, and then we can change over there.
Oh.
Okay. CTMs with Real time.
End users, right? CTMs.
Yeah, CTMs are end users. What do you mean by test data here? As per the requirement, test data in the sense, we will create some vendors, we will create some customers, we will create some GLs for testing purpose. We will do the sample data. We will take some samples and we will do the test. So that data is considered as a test data. Clear? We will create some GL accounts, we will create some vendor accounts, we will create some customer accounts, asset numbers, right? And we will take it as a sample and we will do test in development server. That is called test data. But when it comes to quality assurance server, this will be performed by CTMs with the real-time data. Real data. Okay.
So if it is like if AP team core team members will involve, they will try to post invoices and
Correct.
check them.
See, earlier they were whatever data was there in their Tally or Oracle or whatever software they were using, they will take that particular data, vendor and customers and all. They will start testing in SAP.
Yes,
That is
sir.
a real data, right? End users will do the testing. Any legacy system, whatever legacy system they were using, that data they will take and they will test in SAP.
Yes.
Testing with the real data. There are 3 types of testings. Okay. First one, unit testing. Write it down. There will be 3 types of testings. Okay. What do you mean by unit testing? There are number of modules, right? Number of departments, right? So department wise testing. Module testing, right? For example, a finance department as person is there. Then what testing he will do? Will he do HR department testing?
No.
You are working for accounts payable and you are involved as a CTM, right? And they have given you a script to test HR as a CTM. Will you do it?
No, no.
Which one you will do it?
We'll do finance then.
Related to finance, that is nothing but AP. So whoever are there, whoever CTMs are there, respective departments, so those people will test, okay, according to their department. Department is nothing but here unit, and unit department wise testing is considered as a unit testing, module testing, or application testing. Is this clear?
Naveen and hello.
Please.
Even functional consultants also, like one person will work on AP and one person will work on AL, like that.
Finance, there is complete finance will be one consultant.
Only one.
One in the sense, again, depends upon your project. If your organization, your project is very simple, then 1 or 2 consultants will be there. But if it is a huge product, then almost all 15 to 20 functional consultant will involve.
Okay.
Here, again, it depends upon the project. Okay. Module wise, write it up. Module wise testing. Procurement person will do only the procurement part. Right? This is very important. People may ask you which testing you have. If you are saying which testing, so maybe you may involve into unit testing, or next one, integration testing. Integration testing, right now. Okay, first test unit testing. Okay, so here what do you mean by integration testing? See, the process may start with one module and ends with another module. Correct? Integration, complete integration. ERP integration, last time we have seen, right? So there may be a need. First it will start, right? Procurement department will involve and they will purchase the goods. Clear? They will purchase the goods or services. Okay. So once the purchase or goods they have procured, they are involved. They inform HR department, right? For production department involved. Once the production department will start, then vendor will send invoice to AP finance, correct? So here from here finance will start involved. So finance team will do the invoicing in the system, and as per the due date they will pay, right? So where it's a procure to pay, from where it is starting, from sourcing to payment team will involve. So there should be an integration between starting point to end point. Then that testing we will see. Well, after posting, after receiving, then MIGO will be done. Okay, GR, goods receipt will be done. Once goods receipt will be done, that should be updated in system. But once it is received, then the vendor will send an invoice to AP. Okay, once AP team has punched the invoice in the system, then it need to be picked on the payment according to the due date. Once it picked on the due date, then the payment has to release from payment team. Payment has to release by payment team. And at the end, that should be reaches to vendor. So once the vendor bank account is hit with the payment, then the complete procure to pay process will be end. So here, how many departments are involved in this? One, the procurement department. Next one, requisition. If somebody will have a requisition department, procurement department, and finance department. Clear? So here, three things: PP, production and planning, and finance need to be integrated perfectly. Clear? And after that, same sales and distribution need to be integrated. So here integration test will be integration in the sense department interlinking of department is called integration, right? So that test will be performed. Understood, everyone? Any questions? Any questions here?
Can you please again on the integration testing? Hello.
Sorry?
Charan is asking to repeat it once again.
Yeah, sure. See, integration testing in the sense, for example, the different, see, from one particular process will start with one particular department. It starts in one particular department and ends at another department. The process will end at another department. Correct? For example, you want to, your organization want to sell a product to customer. Customer reaches to your department, and you have a product and you will sell the product to customer. So here sales and sales department is involved, right? And after that, the customer will pay the amount, right? As per the due date. To whom they will pay? To the finance department, right? Here two departments will involve. One is a sales department, another one is finance department. And to produce that particular product, which department will involve? Production and planning department, correct? To
Yes.
get the, if sales department want to sell the product, in the sense they should have a product. Will they manufacture the product, the sales department?
No, they only be a part of sales.
Correct. So manufacturing department need to manufacture the product. So here production and planning department will involve. Sales department will sell the product to customer. So sales department will involve. And who will receive the amount? Will the sales department will receive?
Finance department.
Finance department, right? So here production and planning, we have entered the data in production and planning department has done the production, and they have entered complete data, raw material data and finished goods data. And once they enter, next it need to reflect with whom? Which department?
Once production department updated, then it will go with the sales department, then it will
correct?
with the finance.
Yeah, sales department can check what is the raw material is available, what is the finished goods are available, and what is the customer is expecting. So once we have done, then automatically production department will not come and inform directly that we have done the manufacturing. So with the system, he will check. With the software, the sales department will check. Correct? So there is an integration between production and planning department with the sales department. Once sales department sell the product, then they will enter the customer details. So for example, that is selling on a credit basis, installment basis or credit basis. Then they will enter what is the customer address and everything, correct? And once they have entered, that data will move from sales department to finance department. So this has to be done integration testing. Is that clear?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Naveen.
Next. Okay, here in integration testing, we will do all the standard scenarios, means which are frequently occurs. Okay, standard scenarios, like I'll give you a few examples. Standard scenarios we will test. What are the standard scenarios? This is procure to pay scenarios. Everybody knows. Procure to pay scenario. We'll call it as in P2P. Okay, procure to pay. Next one more scenario, order to cash. OTC. OTC. Okay. Okay. Next, once it is done, then one more testing will be performed. Okay. Integration testing 2. Integration testing 2. What this thing we will do here in integration testing, we will do only standard scenarios. Okay. So here only standard scenarios, but in integration 2, we will test standard scenarios plus developments. Clear? So what does the developments? That price of testing, right? This is standard scenarios with the development or without development. So 3 testings. Understood, everyone?
Yes.
Right here with without development and with the development.
With the development, right?
Yes, that means rise of you have seen, right?
Yes, yes.
So once it is done, then one document will be prepared. User acceptance.
Examples of with and with developments.
User acceptance test.
Naveen, can you just give
A bit louder, or else I'm not able to hear, because
yeah, with the development and without development.
see, without, what is the, see here, whatever developments are done by ABAPer, what are the development forms? Who will do the forms testing? CTMs will do the form development testing. See here, configuration and customization will come under standard procure to pay. And whatever developments they have done as per the client requirement, forms are prepared, reports are prepared, interfaces are prepared, conversions are prepared, enhancements are prepared, workflows are prepared. So all those testings will be performed, whether whatever forms as per the requirement of client, sales order form, purchase order form, clear, bank forms, all are similar as per the client requirement or not, right? So these are called developments. So those testings will be done over here. Clear? Standard scenarios is nothing but without any developments. So as it is, and developments form whatever rise of we have seen. So those testings are nothing but development testings. Any questions here? Rashekar, understood?
Yes, yes.
No, again, I'm ready to repeat any number of times. Not an issue.
No, it's fine.
So user acceptance test. What do you mean by user acceptance test? Means it's not a test. It's a documentation. Means who will perform these testings?
CTM, sir.
CTMs. Means they say that, okay, everything as per their requirement, it is working. Then they will sign it. Then they will sign it. User acceptance signatures will be performed, right? This is called UAT document. UAT document. Understood? Okay. So once the testings and everything are done, then 210 training client. Training client. Okay, training client 1. Training client 1. Okay. So here trainings will be given to, so all whoever are, see, in AP department, for example, in AP department, total 20 people are working. So out of 20 people, all will involved in the project. All 20 people will involve in the project.
No.
From end user, 2 or 3 people will involve.
Yes.
Correct. Other 18 people don't have a knowledge on SAP. Clear? Then here trainings will be conducted here in this particular client, quality client. Okay. So as
So already 2 to 3 people were involved, right?
Correct.
So will they not give the
with
training
the
to
help
the
of
other
those people, with the help of those people, we will give the trainings, or they will give the trainings and we will help them.
Okay.
Okay. So like end users and super users. Okay. End users and super users. So who are end user? Who will do the day-to-day transactions, right? Invoice posting, who will do, right, the basic activities. So these people will be trained by CTMs. Okay. CTMs and functional consultants. Okay, who are the super users? Super users are above to end users. They won't do day-to-day activities. They will observe the activities which are performed by end users. Clear? Like assistant manager, team leads. Those people are considered as a super users. And even they need to give some sort of approvals and all. So these people will also get the trainings. And who will give the trainings to them? Same. CTMs and functional. Okay. Once the trainings are done, then one more client, training 2. Training 2. Okay. So here power user. Power user who will give functional consultant. Power user is nothing but, correct? Who are the power users? Power users are nothing but managerial cadre people. Your CEOs, directors, senior managers, project managers, right? All those people are considered as an power users. Even they need to give some sort of approvals and all those stuff, right? So the SAP is new to them also. Okay. and all those trainings will be given to power users by functional consultants. Yes, anyone have a questions now? Understood this till here?
Sorry, power users.
Power users are nothing but higher level management people, all the directors, CEOs and all, because they need to give approvals in SAP only, right? So they don't have a knowledge on that. So that's the reason, as a functional consultant, we need to give the trainings. CTMs will not give the trainings. Functional consultants will give the trainings to power users.
Okay.
Clear? Any questions still here?
No.
Anyone? It's I understood it's a little technical things, but still you need to understand. I'm trying to give as simple as possible, but again, it will have a little confusion. But once you check the material, then definitely it will go out. It will be flushed out, whatever confusions you have, once you see the real-time environment. Okay. Any questions here? Anyone have a questions before we proceed to the next?
Navin.
Yes, please go ahead.
No, Navin.
Acha, you said no. Okay, fine. I know it's little theory. It would be little boring, but still, because don't say boring, because mandatory interview questions are going to come from here.
Not boring, Navin. It's very interesting.
Sorry?
It's not a boring. It's very interesting.
Because people think for literature, we want to do SAP practical part. But without having a knowledge on this, if you do the practical part auto, it's not that useful.
Yeah, it's very important and very interesting also, not boring.
Okay. So last but not least, we will have one more server called development server, quality assurance server, last but not least, production server.
Production server.
Okay. It's very important. We have different clients in. Okay. In production server, we have two more clients. For example, 300 client. This is nothing but pre-production client. Pre-production client, and one more client, 400. I'll take production client. Okay. So here, pre-production client, what we will have in the sense. So what was the data we were using? What was the data Ready Labs were using before using SAP? Oracle or Tally or Focus or any other legacy system.
Yes.
Whatever may be the software. Okay, that will have some data, right?
Yeah.
So all the data that may the data may be a master data. You know the difference between master data and transactional data.
Yes.
Right? Master data or transactional data. Right? What do you mean by master data? The data which not which will not change frequently. Then that is called a master data. And what do you mean by transactional data? Which will change frequently, then that is considered as a transactional data. Correct? Okay. So you know master data here, vendor master data, GL master data, customer master data. Right? Okay. So here, for example, this need to be, so whatever Tally or Focus or Wings or Oracle we are using the master data, so that need to be uploaded that need to be uploaded in SAP. The data is there in Tally software, and that has to be migrate from Tally to SAP, okay, or Oracle to SAP, right? Then we have some tools here. Okay, so those tools we call it as an, we have different tools to migrate, that is to upload the data. We have they are LSMW. Okay, next BDC. Clear, write it down, or BDC. Okay, means from my legacy system to SAP.
Yes.
Yeah, right. What are the tools we can use? We can use tools called
LSMW or BDC.
or BDC.
LSMW is legacy system.
I'll tell you.
So everywhere these two tools are same.
Legacy system. Legacy system. Legacy system means a legacy system migration workbench. LSMW. Legacy system migration workbench.
So in all the companies, these tools are same.
Yes, either of these tools, two tools.
Oh,
Naveen, what you mean by W?
Sorry?
Legacy system migration
Legacy system migration workbench.
work.
Bench.
Migration workbench.
Okay, thank you.
Next one, BDC. BDC, batch data conversion. Batch data conversion.
who will involve in this migration part?
Sorry. I'll
Who
show you
will
this.
involve?
We have a transaction codes. We have a different levels. In LSMW, we will have 11 levels to upload the data. I'll show you that.
Okay.
Okay. And LSMW, we functional consultant will do it. And BDC, this would be a program driven one. This is a manual upload and this is the automatic upload, which will be taken care by ABAP BDC.
Okay.
Here and
Naveen,
one second, manually we will upload. And there are 11 levels to be uploaded, the data. Yes, sir.
so the BDC full form is batch data.
Data conversion.
Thank you.
No problem. Understood now? LSMW we are going to see.
Yes, sir.
Okay. For this, we need to, for BDC, we need to write a program. BDC. So ABAP will help us. In LSMW, there is no need to write a single line program. As a functional consultant, we can do this.
So do we do this the BDC or I mean?
Sorry.
So the functional consultant only do or ABAP will do because it is involved with
LSMW we will do as a functional consultant, we will do it manually. But
BDC.
if you require the data is very huge and it will take a lot of time, then it will not be preferred LSMW because it's an automation kind of thing, BDC. And that will be taken care by ABAP. If data is very less, very small, then we will do LSMW part. Clear? If it is a huge data, then that will be written a program by ABAP consultant, and that tool is considered as an BDC, and that will automatically very fast. It will be very more faster. Any questions? Hello.
No, Naveen.
Navin, sorry for asking is, can you summarize whole production server once?
No, we have just started production server, right?
Yeah, it just started. Can you please summarize all?
We call it, there are two clients in production server. One is pre-production client and another one is a production client. Clear? So what will be there in pre-production client in the sense, see, for example, Reddy Labs, we took an example as our client. So before implementing SAP, they were using Tally, Wings, Focus, or Oracle. So in that Oracle or in that Tally, in their Focus software, there will be some data, right? So the data could be a master data, their data could be a transactional data. So master data in the sense, they may have, for example, they have GL master data. Okay, next one, vendor master. Then they may have customer master. They may have bank master. Tax master. Right? So this data need to move from legacy system, that is nothing but non-SAP system to SAP system. So how it will be moved in the sense, there are two types of tools will be there. One is LSMW tool or BDC tool. LSMW is nothing but legacy system migration workbench tool. Or one more tool we have, BDC, batch data conversion tool. Okay, so what is the difference between these two in the sense, LSMW is nothing but a manual upload. Means that we need not to write any programming to upload by using this tool. Okay, if the data is very small, okay, and we can do on our own with the help of LSMW, we can move the data from non-SAP system to SAP system, the data. But if the data is very much more, okay, then it will take a lot of time to move from LSM with the help of LSMW. Then we have one more tool called BDC tool, right? So BDC tool is a program driven tool, and who will write this program? ABAP consultant will do it. So we will give the data to ABAP consultant. We will show the data to ABAP consultant, and what ABAP consultant will do is ABAP consultant will write a program and will upload the complete data, whatever data is their non-SAP system. So that data will be uploaded and moved to SAP system. So this is called pre-production client. Correct? Understood? And
Yes.
we are going to see LSMW in future, not BDC. Right? If the records are less, then go with the LSMW. If it is more, then normally they'll go with the BDC. Understood? In live environment, I have worked in LSMW recently. Okay. But once you learn with the LSMW, then you feel you want to move the data through LSMW only. Understood?
Yes.
Yeah. There are total 11 levels are there in LSMW process. Okay. I'll take you one example. So we are moving the data from legacy system to SAP system, right? So here, for example, there are some GL master 10,560 GLs are there. For 10,560 GLs are there. Okay. But out of 10,560, they are not using 160 GLs are not using currently. They have created GL accounts, but they have created 10,560 GLs, but out of that 160 they are not using. Okay, how many are finalized?
1,400.
400.
Okay, and out of 10,400, okay, 100 GLs are used only for Oracle purpose, which is not useful for SAP.
SAP.
Understood? These are dedicatedly used only for Oracle purpose, that ERP. So how many GLs are there? Do we need to migrate this?
No.
No, right? It's not required. So how many GLs are there? Now
10,300.
10,300. Right? The filtration, we will finalize like this. We will see what are the GLs, what are the required and what are not required. So that we need to filter. So out of 10,560, 160 are they are not using, and 100 this is dedicatedly only for Oracle purpose or non-SAP system purpose. So we are moving 10,300. So eliminated which are not required. Understood?
Okay.
This is the elimination process we need to analyze. The finalized GL accounts are 10,400. This 10,300 we need to upload into SAP system. So legacy
Yes, sir.
data uploading, we will call it as a legacy data uploading. Okay, so all the master data will be checked like this only. So what is your transactional data? Closing balances or GL closing balances. Closing balances. Okay. So if you prepare a trial balance, the trial balance closing balances we need to upload into SAP system. Okay. Not only GL balances, vendor open items with bill wise, invoice wise. Okay.
So closed ones no need to move. Already paid ones, sir.
Sorry. This is GL closing balances. Means GL, what are
Not GL. It is vendor open items when it
we are
is.
not taking, right? Payment already paid. Why we will take?
So for in future reference, if you want to check the old data,
For example,
we receive the same invoice.
this is nothing but GL closing balances is nothing but vendor reconciliation. Vendor reconciliation accounts will be reflect in GL accounts only. Understood?
Reflects. See,
Yeah.
for example, if when it is related to AP, the invoice is already paid. But
Yes.
sometimes we receive old invoices also, right? So if the transaction is not entered, moved to the SAP, again it will not show as a duplicate. Again, there may be a chance of paying the
No, the
second time,
system
right?
is complete. See, once in the sense, whatever vendor we have already paid, because the vendor used to send in old system, correct? That is Oracle or something. But vendor doesn't know the which are already paid, then we won't inform that we are migrating from Oracle to SAP, right?
Yes.
Then once we move to SAP system, then vendor will not send any invoice, old invoice in old format, right? If he enter into an agreement with the new transactions, then only then he need to send the invoices in SAP new format. Understood?
SAP new format means everything will be same. I think purchase order will be different.
That's it.
The format will be same, right?
Right.
But
So
when
what,
it is related to
what can I
non-PO
say?
case,
If we send an old invoice also, the purchase order series would be different. Right?
purchase order series would be different. But if we want to check the invoice is already paid or
Why
not,
we will send actually? Because by looking at that invoice only, you don't need to check, right? By looking at that invoice copy only, you will understand the series and they will throw it out, trash it out. Legacy
no,
invoice.
Naveen. Sometimes there might might have a chance that invoice wouldn't have been paid.
What do you
Like
mean?
there, it was missed. The invoice was missed. We have AP did not receive that invoice anytime. The first time we are receiving, the vendor also sending the first time, but that is a old invoice related to Oracle.
See, again, I'm reiterating for you, your benefit. See, vendor, whenever you are migrating your system, whenever you have migrated the system, you have not paid your vendor, then only you will update your vendor that we have migrated from old software to new software, and the invoices has to be sent in this particular specified format. Correct? So this is the purchase order you need to mention here. This is the name you need to mention here, right? Purchase order number. What is purchase order or service order you will mention? Means if he has provided services and he has not received the amount, then only he can send it to, you will give the PO number to him. You will update the PO number to him or service order number to them, right? And they will update. Means it's already not yet paid. That invoice is not yet paid, even though he's an old system. If he is already paid, if that particular customer or sorry, if that particular vendor is already paid, then do you inform as a procurement specialist, will you inform that you can resend the invoice, whatever you got, with the so and so purchase order number, SAP purchase order number, or SAP service order number, you can mention and you can send? Will we mention? If it is not paid, then we will help them to give with the new details.
Yeah, I think it is depends on the process, Naveen. Because
So,
in
sir,
our
in
previous
the
process,
way
we used to check in, yeah, we will open the legacy system and we'll check whether the invoice is processed or not, then we'll
See,
go
that's the
with the
reason. See,
flow.
again, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, all the vendor master data, whatever migration you're currently using, right, that will be transferred. That will, the complete data will be transferred, right, from
Yes.
your Oracle to SAP. Got it?
Yes, Naveen.
Not an issue.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is okay. So cost vendor outstanding items. So here vendor open items, nothing but vendor outstanding items. Okay, still your old system you have not paid, then those data will also we will upload. Next one. Next one, customer outstanding items.
These are comes under transactional data.
Yes. Once we pay, then it will be moved out, right? Customer outstanding items, bill wise. Next one. I'm taking few examples at it. Inventory with okay. Inventory with okay. Inventory with MAP, moving average price. Okay, moving average price. I'll tell you what do you mean by moving average price when we do the module. Item wise. Okay. I'm taking an example, few examples, that's it. Asset balances, APC, and accumulated depreciation. APC means acquisitional production cost. When you acquire a asset, okay, what is the cost you're spending? That is called acquisitional production cost. right? And accumulated depreciation, the complete depreciation. Okay. Just write it down. See, for example, what do you mean accumulated depreciation? My asset value is 10,000 and every year I'm doing 1,000 as a depreciation. So 3 years I have done the depreciation 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. So what is my total depreciation for 3 years?
3,000.
That is called accumulated depreciation. If it is 10 years, again it's a 10,000. Is this clear, everyone? Yes, no?
Yes, Navin.
So once we're done with what is the net book value? 10,000 minus 3,000, 7,000 net book value. So we are going to do the depreciation here. Okay. Next one. One more test. Okay. Once we are done with this, we will do one test in pre-production client, regressive testing. Once the complete data is uploaded, then we will do one more testing called regressive testing with real data. Means complete thing. Understood? Regression test in statistics, we call it as a with the real data, not with the samples. Regressive is nothing but a real-time data. Right? Whatever Oracle they are using or whatever Tally they are using, whatever data is there, that complete data will be tested here. Master data, transactional data, and everything. Right? Complete in the sense, again, they will do a critical scenarios. Critical scenarios. Right? Where right, whatever important scenarios for the business, those scenarios will be tested here. Like procure to pay, payment activity, procurement activity, HR, need process, onboarding process, like that, critical scenarios will be done. So once it's finalized, then everything will be uploaded. Means once it's approved, then we will call it as an approved data and verified data will be uploaded in production system. In production data, production system. Okay. So we'll take a printout, whatever scenarios we have tested, CTMs and BPO and all, everyone will sign. Then once they approve, once they accept, then that will be moved to production client. And this is called real-time environment. No test, no practice will be performed in this particular production client. No trials, nothing. Directly it will lead to real time. As an end user, whatever things we are doing, that is nothing but a production client. Okay. What data will be there in production client? What data will be there in production client?
Approved data.
Approved and verified data. Approved and verified data will be there in production system. Okay. Any questions still here? Okay. So we have finally, now live data is available in production system. Okay. And one fine day we will go with go live. Go live means they'll start. What do you mean by go live?
Working normally in the whole thing.
Yes. We will stop old system, whatever Oracle Financial Study, whatever, and start with SAP system. That is called go live. Okay. Any questions here?
Naveen, the data which is in pre-production and production would be same, no?
In production, there would be a partition. One is pre-production, means which involves the old data, complete data, master data and transactional data. Again, in the same production server, we have another partition called, this is 400 client. That is the reason. See, if you are giving an access to 300 client, then you are going to work on the old system data.
Old, okay.
Right? But end users will have only this particular access. Production data. Understood?
Okay. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Any other questions? Any other questions? I know it's little theory. Okay, now understood. What do you mean by client and all? Tomorrow, once again, we will have a quick glance. I have prepared one literature. The same thing, what I have explained. So development server, I took the same example, 110, 120, 130. Okay, I'll just read out the literature tomorrow session. Just go through once, whatever notes you have prepared today. Clear? And if at all any questions, you can ask tomorrow session.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Tomorrow at what time?
Same time, 2:30.
Same 2:30.
Yeah.
Can't we have it to 11:30?
No, actually today we have a planned outage. So that's the reason. But because tomorrow we have again 10 o'clock batches there. So that will be till 1 o'clock.
Yep, ma'am.
Thank you all.
Okay,
Thank you, Naveen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Naveen.
Naveen.